Hello everyone, I am Ananya Bajpai and today I'll be describing motion. The distance traveled by any object per unit time is known as speed. It can be represented as distance divided by time, or V is equal to S upon T. Speed is a scalar quantity, which means that it only has magnitude, no direction. Uniform speed is that speed when equal distances are covered in equal intervals of time. Non-uniform speed, however, is when it covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Average speed is the total distance covered in total time, and instantaneous speed is the speed at a particular instant of the entire motion. The SI unit of speed is meter per second, and 1 meter per second is equal to 3.6 kilometer per hour, more common unit used in day-to-day life. To determine speed in laboratories, we use light gates. The first beam of infrared radiation is broken by a peg attached to the object whose speed is being measured. This starts the timer. Then the second beam is broken by the peg to stop the timer. This means that the time taken for that object to cover the gap between the two beams is measured. As we know the length of the gap, we can calculate the speed. Another easier method is using an interrupt card instead of a peg. When the card breaks the beam, the timer starts and the timer stops when the beam is no longer broken. Since we have measured the time and know the length of the card, we can calculate the speed. When describing speed, we talked about distance. There is also another term known as displacement. These two are not interchangeable. First of all, distance is a scalar quantity and is the total length between 2 points or the path length. It can either be 0 or positive but never negative. Displacement, on the other hand, is a vector quantity, and it is not the total path length but shortest possible length between 2 points and does not depend on the path length. Displacement will always be shorter than or equal to the distance, and it can be negative, 0 or positive. Now that we know what displacement is, we can define velocity, which is the displacement covered per unit time. V is equal to x upon t. Its SI unit is meters per second. Since displacement is a vector quantity, velocity also is a vector and not only includes magnitude but also direction. Uniform velocity is when equal displacements are covered in equal intervals of time, and there can be two forms of variable velocity. A, there can be a change in the magnitude, meaning that unequal displacement is covered in equal intervals of time, or B, there can be a change in the direction, meaning that even if equal displacement is being covered in equal intervals of time, but the body is changing direction, then too it will have variable velocity. Also, if both magnitude and direction is changing, then too we are talking about variable velocity. The example, constant speed but variable velocity, can be a cyclist that is traveling at a constant speed of 5 meters per second in a circular path, meaning that he has a uniform speed but his direction is changing at every point, which means that he has a variable velocity. But there is also motion in which the velocity does not remain constant and it may even increase due to a force that is exerted on it. This rate of change of velocity is known as acceleration and is also a vector quantity, meaning that the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by the time taken, or v minus u upon t, is acceleration. The SI unit is meters per second squared because the SI unit of speed is meter per second. Deceleration is basically negative acceleration because the velocity of bodies can also decrease. If in a question we see that the speed of the object is decreasing and deceleration is asked, the result that we get should be positive. For example, the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second squared. If we are talking about upwards motion, then take acceleration as minus 9.8 meters per second squared. That is acting in the downward direction. However, the deceleration will still remain 9.8 meter per second squared. Deceleration is already negative acceleration. So when you add a negative sign negative into negative will become positive. However, if speed is decreasing and we have been asked the acceleration, a negative sign should be added in front of the value. To sum up, scalar quantities are those which only include magnitude. Example, speed, distance, and also mass. Vector quantities are those which include both magnitude and direction. Example, velocity, displacement, and weight. We can also graphically represent each of the terms that we have described. In distance time graphs, the gradient represents speed. In this graph, the body is moving with constant speed because a straight line that is inclined to the time axis and has a constant gradient, meaning constant speed. Here the speed is increasing. The gradient is increasing at every point. This curved graph shows constant acceleration. Here the speed is decreasing, meaning the gradient is decreasing, and this curved graph shows constant deceleration. Since the gradient of graph A greater than the gradient of graph B, A is moving with a greater speed. Why is that? Gradient represents the change in the y-axis values divided by the change in the x-axis values, and distance is y-axis and time is the x-axis. Speed is also equal to distance upon time. So, this means that the gradient is equal to the speed. Higher the gradient, greater the speed. Steeper the graph, greater the speed. For velocity time graphs, area under the curve representing the distance and the gradient is the acceleration. Why? From the formula, v is equal to s upon t. S will equal to v into t. Y-axis is velocity and the x-axis is time. Area under the graph equal to v into t, which is distance, and the gradient will be the change in velocity divided by the change in time, which is acceleration. This graph is a horizontal line parallel to the time axis and it is showing constant speed. The straight line inclined to the time axis shows constant acceleration. The gradient is constant. Here the gradient is negative and negative acceleration is deceleration. The gradient is constant, therefore this shows constant deceleration. Variable acceleration showing increasing gradient but not in uniform intervals of time. Increasing acceleration because of the increasing gradient. Decreasing acceleration because of the decreasing gradient. It is very crucial to note that in the last graph, body is not showing deceleration because the gradient is not negative. Acceleration is decreasing. How to find these gradients? For dt graphs, find the change in y upon change in x. We can take any two sets of points and draw a triangle like this. The vertical line represents the change in the y-axis, which is 4 minus 1, and the horizontal line represents the change in the x-axis, which is 5 minus 2. The gradient will then be 4 minus 1 divided by 5 minus 2, which is equal to 1. Since the gradient of a dt graph is speed at the unit meters per second. If the speed is not constant, then we have to take the points that are furthest from each other and calculate the average speed by calculating the overall gradient. To find the instantaneous speed, we'll have to draw a tangent at that particular x coordinate. For VT graphs showing constant acceleration, we'll follow the same method. 4 minus 2 divided by 3 minus 1, which is 1, and acceleration is in meter per second square. We'll calculate the instantaneous acceleration by drawing a tangent and then finding the gradient at that particular point. Finally, how do we calculate the area under the curve? We only require knowledge for the speed time graphs here. To firstly describe this graph, we can see that in the first half, the speed is increasing. Then it reaches a constant for a small amount of time, starts to decrease and comes to rest. To find the total distance that has been traveled, we can break this graph up into triangles, rectangles or squares. Distance is equal to area under the curve. Distance will equal to half into base into height plus base into height plus half into base into height, adjusting for the base and height values for each question.